First contact at the Academy. Marcus Kane never expected his life to change when he walked into the Galactic Defense Academy on Station Omega-7. The 22-year-old human had always been focused on his studies, determined to become a stellar engineer like his father. But everything shifted the moment he saw her in the quantum mechanics lab. Zara Velthane stood at the holographic display, her blue-tinged skin glowing softly under the laboratory lights. She was Altarian, a species known for their advanced technology and rigid military culture. Her violet eyes sparkled with intelligence as she manipulated complex equations with graceful movements. Unlike other Altarians who seemed cold and distant, Zara possessed a warmth that drew Marcus like a magnetic field. "Your calculations are incorrect," she said without looking up as Marcus approached her workstation. Her voice carried a melodic accent that made even criticism sound beautiful. Marcus glanced at his own display, embarrassed. "I'm still learning the Altarian numerical system. It's quite different from human mathematics." Zara finally turned to face him, her expression softening. "You're the human from Earth's colonial sector, aren't you? Marcus Kane?" "Guilty as charged," he replied with a nervous smile. "And you're Zara Velthane, daughter of Supreme Commander Velthane of the Altarian fleet." A shadow crossed her features. "My father's reputation precedes me everywhere, but here I prefer to be known simply as Zara." Over the following weeks, Marcus and Zara found themselves drawn together despite their different backgrounds. They studied together in the library, shared meals in the cafeteria, and walked through the station's observation decks, gazing at the stars. Marcus learned that beneath her composed exterior, Zara harbored dreams of exploration and discovery that went beyond military conquest. "My people believe strength comes from dominance," Zara confided one evening as they watched a nebula spiral through the viewport. "But humans, you find strength in cooperation, in building something greater than yourselves." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "We learned long ago that our greatest achievements come when we work together. Maybe that's why the Galactic Council invited us to join, despite being one of the younger species." Their friendship deepened into something more profound. Marcus found himself captivated not just by Zara's beauty, but by her curious mind and gentle spirit. She challenged his perspectives while respecting his humanity in ways that surprised him. The Academy's diverse environment fostered their relationship. Students from dozens of species attended classes together, creating an atmosphere of cultural exchange. Marcus and Zara often found themselves defending each other's viewpoints in debates, their partnership becoming evident to everyone around them. But their growing closeness did not go unnoticed. Supreme Commander Velthine maintained extensive surveillance networks, even within the Academy. Reports of his daughter's involvement with a human reached him within days of their first meaningful conversation. The storm was brewing, though neither Marcus nor Zara realized it yet. They were too busy discovering that love could transcend species, that two hearts could beat in harmony despite originating from different worlds. Their pure affection would soon face the ultimate test against military tradition and paternal authority. The commander's wrath, Supreme Commander Velthine, stood in his flagship's command center, reading the surveillance reports with growing fury. The Altarian commander was a towering figure even by his species' standards, his silver-streaked hair and battle-scarred hands testament to decades of military service. His reputation for ruthless efficiency had earned him respect across the galaxy, but also fear. "Sir," his aide Captain Vex approached cautiously, "the reports from the Academy have been verified. Your daughter has formed a attachment to the human student." Velthane's jaw tightened. "Attachment is too mild a word, Captain. She's forgotten her heritage, her duty to our people." He turned to face the holographic display, showing Marcus and Zara together in the Academy's gardens. "This human thinks he can court an Altarian princess without consequences." The Supreme Commander had built his career on strategic thinking and decisive action. His daughter's relationship with Marcus Kane represented more than personal disappointment. It threatened the carefully maintained balance of power within the Galactic Council. Altarians had always held themselves above other species, their technological superiority ensuring their dominant position. "Summon my daughter to the flagship immediately," Belthane commanded, "and prepare a detention unit for the human." When Zara arrived via transport shuttle, she knew something was wrong. Her father's stern expression and the armed guards flanking him confirmed her worst fears. The flagship's corridors seemed colder than usual as she was escorted to his private chambers. "Father," she began, but he raised a hand to silence her. "Do not speak. You have brought shame to our family name." Velthane's voice carried the weight of absolute authority. A daughter of House Velthane consorting with a primitive human? "It ends now." Zara's violet eyes flashed with defiance. "Marcus is not primitive. He's intelligent, kind, and honorable. Something you might recognize if you weren't blinded by prejudice." The Supreme Commander's hand struck the table with tremendous force. "Prejudice? I have dedicated my life to protecting our people from inferior species who would drag us down to their level. This human has poisoned your mind against your own." "Kind. He's opened my eyes," Zara replied firmly. "Humans may be younger galactically, but they possess qualities we've forgotten. They build bridges instead of walls, seek understanding instead of dominance." Velthane circled his daughter slowly, his military bearing intimidating. "You speak of understanding? Then understand this. I have already contacted the Academy. Marcus Kane is being transferred to the Frontier Defense Corps, effective immediately. He will serve on the rim worlds, far from civilized space." Zara's composure cracked. "You can't do this. He's a student, not a soldier." "I can and I have," her father replied coldly. "The Frontier Corps needs engineers to maintain their outposts. He'll have plenty of time to contemplate the consequences of reaching above his station." The Frontier Defense Corps was notorious throughout the galaxy. Established to guard against unknown threats from unexplored space, it was essentially death sentence disguised as military service. Equipment failures, hostile alien encounters, and simple isolation claimed most personnel within their first year. "Father, please," Zara pleaded, her voice breaking. "I love him." Velthane's expression softened slightly, but his resolve remained firm. "Love is a luxury we cannot afford. You will remain on the flagship until this infatuation passes. Perhaps isolation will remind you of your duties." As guards escorted Zara to her quarters, she caught a glimpse of Marcus through the viewport. He was being loaded onto a transport ship, his face confused and hurt. Their eyes met across the distance, and she pressed her hand against the transparisteel, silently promising that this wasn't the end. Exiled to the frontier, Marcus Kane stared out the viewport of the transport ship as it approached Outpost Meridian, a lonely beacon of civilization on the galaxy's edge. The past week had been a blur of confusion and heartbreak. One moment he was studying quantum mechanics with Zara. The next he was being processed into the Frontier Defense Corps without explanation. The outpost was a collection of prefabricated modules connected by reinforced corridors, designed to withstand the harsh conditions of an uncharted world. Its primary purpose was to monitor deep space for potential threats and maintain communication relays for the inner systems. For most personnel, it was a punishment posting. "Welcome to the end of the universe," muttered Sergeant Torres, a grizzled human veteran who met Marcus at the airlock. "Hope you didn't leave anything important behind, because you ain't seeing civilization again anytime soon." Marcus was assigned to the engineering section, responsible for maintaining the outpost's critical systems. The work was demanding and dangerous, requiring constant vigilance against equipment failures that could prove fatal in a hostile environment. His fellow engineers were a mix of humans and other species, all bearing the look of men and women who had been forgotten by the galaxy. "So what did you do to end up here?" asked Chief Engineer Rodriguez during Marcus's first shift. "Steal from the Academy? Assault a superior officer?" "I fell in love with the wrong person," Marcus replied quietly, focusing on the power coupling he was repairing. Rodriguez snorted. "Politics, huh? That'll do it every time. The brass don't like it when their precious bloodlines get contaminated." Despite the harsh conditions, Marcus threw himself into his work. He discovered that the outpost's systems were held together by determination and improvisation rather than proper maintenance. His academy training, combined with human ingenuity, allowed him to devise solutions that impressed even the cynical veterans. Meanwhile, on the Altarian flagship, Zara was fighting her own battle. Confined to quarters, but not broken, she spent her time studying her father's military records and correspondence. Her mother had died when she was young, leaving her father as the sole influence in her life. But she began to see patterns in his behavior that revealed deeper motivations. "He's afraid," she realized one evening, reviewing historical documents. The Altarian Empire had maintained supremacy through technological advantage, but younger species like humans were advancing rapidly. Her father's prejudice wasn't just cultural. It was strategic, designed to maintain Altarian dominance. Using her security clearance, Zara accessed communication logs between her father and other military leaders. She discovered that Marcus's assignment to the Frontier Corps was part of a larger plan to eliminate potential threats to Altarian authority. Promising individuals from inferior species were being quietly removed from positions where they might gain influence. Back on Outpost Meridian, Marcus was unaware of the larger conspiracy. He focused on his duties and the small crew of dedicated personnel who kept the outpost running. Their camaraderie reminded him of the human values Zara had admired: cooperation, loyalty, and the determination to succeed against impossible odds. 3 months into his exile, Marcus made a discovery that would change everything. While performing routine maintenance on the long-range sensors, he detected unusual energy signatures from unexplored space. The readings suggested advanced technology, possibly from an unknown civilization. "Chief, you need to see this," Marcus called Rodriguez over to his workstation. The patterns were unlike anything in the Galactic Council's databases, indicating a potentially first contact situation. Rodriguez studied the data with growing excitement. "This is big, Kane. Really big. If there's another spacefaring species out there, the Council needs to know immediately." As Marcus prepared his report, he couldn't help but think of Zara. His exile had been meant to separate them and crush his spirit, but instead, it had given him the opportunity to make a discovery that might reshape galactic politics. Perhaps Supreme Commander Velthon's plans would prove to be his own undoing. The discovery that changes everything. The emergency transmission from Outpost Meridian reached the Galactic Council chambers within hours, its contents causing immediate upheaval. Among the assembled representatives, Marcus Kane's discovery of unknown energy signatures had triggered the first potential first contact protocol in over a century. Supreme Commander Velthane stood before the holographic display showing the sensor readings, his expression unreadable. Beside him, Council Chairman Vex Tar of the Chronari species studied the data with growing concern. "The patterns are consistent with advanced propulsion technology," reported Dr. Nick Zara, the Council's chief xenobiologist. "But the energy signature is unlike anything we've encountered. This civilization could be significantly more advanced than any current member species." Velthane felt a cold realization settling in his chest. The human he had exiled to remove him from his daughter's life had just made potentially the most important discovery in galactic history. Marcus Kane's name would be remembered long after Velthane's own military victories were forgotten. "We need our best people on this," Chairman Vextar declared. "I want a full expedition prepared immediately." "Sir," Captain Nex approached Velthane. "Quietly, the human who made this discovery. He's the one involved with your daughter." Velthane's jaw tightened. The irony was not lost on him. "Prepare my personal flagship. I'll lead the expedition myself." Meanwhile, aboard the Altarian flagship, Zara had been monitoring communication channels through her limited access to the ship's systems. When news of Marcus's discovery reached her, she felt a surge of pride mixed with worry. She knew her father would use this situation to further his own agenda. "You always underestimated him," she whispered to herself, thinking of Marcus alone on the frontier. Outpost. On Outpost Meridian, Marcus worked frantically to gather more data about the mysterious signals. The energy readings were becoming stronger, suggesting the unknown civilization was approaching their sector of space. Chief Engineer Rodriguez had assembled the entire technical staff to assist with the analysis. "Kane, your discovery might just save this outpost," Rodriguez said, reviewing the incoming council communications. "They're sending a full expedition fleet. We'll finally get proper equipment and reinforcements." Marcus nodded, but his thoughts were elsewhere. He wondered if Zara had heard about his discovery, if she was proud of what he had accomplished despite being exiled. The months of separation had not diminished his feelings for her. If anything, they had grown stronger. The first ships of the expedition fleet arrived within days. Marcus watched from the observation deck as Supreme Commander Velthane's flagship docked with the outpost. His heart raced at the possibility of seeing Zara again, but he steeled himself for another confrontation with her father. Velthane entered the outpost's command center with his typical military bearing, his eyes immediately finding Marcus among the assembled personnel. The Supreme Commander had expected to find a broken young man, crushed by months of exile. Instead, he saw someone who had grown stronger, more confident, and undeniably competent. "Engineer Kane," Velthane addressed him formally, "your discovery has attracted the attention of the entire Galactic Council. You will serve as technical advisor to the expedition." Marcus straightened. "I'm honored, sir. The unknown civilization's technology appears to be advancing toward our position. We may have limited time to establish peaceful contact." Velthane studied the human with grudging respect. Despite his prejudices, he could not deny Marcus's expertise or the significance of his discovery. The young man had proven himself capable of extraordinary achievements, even under the worst circumstances. "You will report directly to me," Velthane continued. "This expedition could determine the future of galactic civilization." As the meeting concluded, Marcus caught a glimpse of silver hair in the corridor outside. His heart leaped as he recognized Zara's graceful figure, but guards blocked his path before he could approach her. She turned briefly, their eyes meeting across the distance, and he saw the same love and determination that had sustained him through his exile. The expedition was preparing to venture into unknown space, carrying the hopes and fears of every species in the Galactic Council. Marcus Kane, once dismissed as an insignificant human, now held the key to humanity's greatest challenge and opportunity. Love Conquers All the expedition fleet approached the coordinates where Marcus had detected the mysterious energy signatures, their sensors revealing a massive artificial structure unlike anything in known space. The alien construct was beautiful and terrifying, its crystalline surfaces reflecting the light of nearby stars while pulsing with internal energy. "It's a space station," Marcus reported from the flagship's bridge, his voice filled with awe. "But the scale is enormous. It could house millions of beings." Supreme Commander Velthane studied the readings with growing unease. The alien technology was clearly superior to anything the Galactic Council possessed. If this unknown civilization proved hostile, the balance of power in the galaxy would shift dramatically. "Sir," reported the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the alien station. It's in perfect galactic standard." A holographic image materialized in the center of the bridge. The alien speaker was humanoid, but clearly evolved from a different evolutionary path. Their skin was pale blue, their eyes large and luminous, and their movements possessed an ethereal grace. "Welcome, travelers from the younger worlds," the alien said, their voice carrying harmonics. That suggested advanced vocal evolution. "I am Keeper Zephyr of the Eternal Conclave. We have been observing your species for some time." Velthane stepped forward, his military bearing evident. "I am Supreme Commander Velthane of the Altarian Fleet, representing the Galactic Council. We come in peace, seeking dialogue between our civilizations." Keeper Zephyr's expression remained serene. "We know of your council, Commander. We have watched your species grow and evolve, noting both your achievements and your limitations. We are particularly interested in one among you." The alien's gaze seemed to focus on Marcus, who felt a chill of recognition. "You are the one who first detected our presence. Your mind carries the spark of true understanding." "I'm just an engineer," Marcus replied humbly. "I was doing my job." "Humility," Zephyr observed. "A trait we have found most prevalent among your species humans. It is why we have decided to make contact now." The revelation sent shockwaves through the expedition. The Eternal Conclave had been watching the galaxy for centuries, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. They had chosen to make contact because of human characteristics that other species often dismissed as weaknesses. "Your people possess something rare," Zephyr continued. "The ability to love without reservation, to sacrifice for others, to find strength in unity rather than domination. These qualities will be essential for what comes next." Valfane's face darkened. "What do you mean?" "A great threat approaches. From beyond the galactic rim," Zephyr explained. "Machine intelligences that consume all biological life. Your species must unite or face extinction. But unity requires trust, and trust requires love." The alien's words hung in the air like a challenge. Marcus felt the weight of destiny settling on his shoulders as he realized the true significance of his discovery. "Commander Velthane," Zephyr addressed the Altarian leader directly, "your daughter and this human represent the future your species needs. Their love transcends the barriers that divide your peoples. Will you embrace this future or cling to the past?" Velthane stared at the alien, then at Marcus, and finally at Zara, who had been brought to the bridge as the conversation progressed. In his daughter's eyes, he saw the same determination that had made him a successful military leader, but tempered with the compassion he had almost forgotten. "Father," Zara spoke softly, "Marcus has proven himself. His discovery has brought use to this moment. Can't you see that our love makes us stronger, not weaker?" The Supreme Commander looked at Marcus, seeing not the insignificant human he had tried to exile, but a young man who had faced adversity with courage and made a discovery that would change galactic history. He saw the respect in his daughter's eyes, the way she looked at Marcus with complete trust and devotion. "Perhaps," Velthane said slowly, "I have been wrong about many things." Marcus stepped forward, his voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. "Sir, I ask for your daughter's hand in marriage, not as a political alliance, but because I love her more than life itself." Velthane studied the young human for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Engineer Kane, you have earned the right to court my daughter properly, and perhaps our species can learn from yours." As the expedition fleet prepared to return to Council space with news of the Eternal Conclave and the coming threat. Marcus and Zara stood together on the observation deck, watching the alien station fade into the distance. "We did it," Zara whispered, her hand finding his. Love conquered all. Marcus squeezed her hand gently. "This is just the beginning. We have a galaxy to unite and a future to build together." The Terran Empire that would rise from this moment would be founded not on conquest or domination, but on the simple truth that love and cooperation could overcome any obstacle. And it all began with a human boy whose love was pure, and an alien father who learned to see beyond his prejudices. The stars awaited their united future.